I'd like to call to order our school committee meeting for March 10th, 2026.
Thank you.
It's just wrong. Guests can follow along votes using the link to Southeastern School Committee page or watch live on Southeastern Facebook page. We're also recording this meeting, and if you can, please stand with me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all.
Thank you.
We have one member.
Yeah. Also for the public, we do have a member that is virtual, so we'll be doing roll call votes as well.
And the executive director of the Technical Institute is participating remotely as well this evening.
All right, so I guess we'll go right on to the student report.
All right.
Student representative report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I hope we all had a safe and fun blizzard of 26. That was definitely, at least it was expected this time. That is true. So for sports, winter sports have officially wrapped up, and even though there's still some snow on the ground, we are moving into spring season. So preseason meetings have started, some information meetings are coming up, and practices will start very soon. But to kind of recap our winter sports, both boys and girls basketball, they made it to round one of the playoffs, which is awesome. And our girls are actually the basketball, they're the Mayflower League champions, which is congratulations. Mr. Brewster has coached an amazing team. But also taking first is our cheer team, who took first in the Mayflower Conference, and they got third in the Massachusetts Vocational Conference, which is so proud of them. And they're moving on to regional, so good luck to them. And then we kind of have a fun thing for students in college basketball. If y'all are aware, we do March Madness, so we've kind of taken on our own version of that here, which kind of started last week, and we'll wrap up on the 11th. So there's student-led teams that are put together, coached by students, led by students. It's just a fun thing for them to do, and that's going to be happening this week. For activities, our Skills USA District competition was rescheduled to March 6th. We just had it, so I saw some familiar faces. That was great to see some of y'all. And it went really well, and our award ceremony is going to be happening this Thursday, so you're all formally invited. And we also had our Student Government Day voting. This is a fun simulation. In April, we send one primary representative and one alternative representative. They get to go, kind of get the feel of how actually a bill is voted on, and it's cool. They get to meet with their representative. I got the chance to go last year. It was really cool. I got an official citation, and it's a great opportunity for our students. And then, our Adding Design Art Show. So that's coming up on March 17th. It's hosted by our Adding Design shop. Sign-ups went out, so any kid that has a talent, maybe musical, maybe a piece of art they want to show off, it was opened up to them, and that will be happening on the 17th, so that's awesome for them. And then we had Meg the therapist come back. She's kind of here to show our students how to de-stress, because junior and senior year can be very stressful for a lot of students, and so trying to make sure you don't get caught up in the midst of things. She's kind of there to help us take the step back and look at the overall picture, so we're very thankful for her presence. Academically, we have our annual testing. So for our spring testing, we have our stamp testing that happened on the 25th, the AccuPlacer, which will be happening March 17th. We had our PSATs that are coming up on April 8th, and then the official SATs on May 2nd. So we kind of just gave those dates to students so they can start getting prepared. Some of those tests have already happened. And also for our 10th graders, they do have MCAS coming up, so good luck to them. They got assigned their rooms, so that will be happening in the coming weeks. And there's some school-wide highlights. 100% of our medical assisting students passed their CMAs. So they are officially certified medical assistants. So we are extremely proud of them. They have put a lot of work in the past 4 years. Medical is no easy shop, and so this is a great show of their knowledge and their skill. So good job to their teachers for showing amazing skill. And also we had our spring advisory dinner on March 3rd. Again, I saw some familiar faces, so thank you all for coming that. The advisor is a great way to connect our students and teachers with the outside world. It's hard to kind of get a feel for it, like just being in the classroom. So having past alum and professionals come out to help bridge that gap is amazing, and we are so thankful that we get to host that every fall and spring. And also this kind of happened kind of back in February, but we didn't get to recognize it, and I think it's very important. One of our students was featured in the BSAU Bridge Student Film Festival. 4 of our digital and cinema broadcasting students got to go, but one of them, Tori, she actually was named the best high school film. So she produced, made her own film, and she actually won at a college film festival, which I think is an amazing test. Her teachers do an amazing job. I got to see the film. It's called Orange Juice. It was an awesome film. And then also we had our Southeastern Technical Institute career event. And yes, it is an STI event, but it also gave our seniors a chance to maybe go and see. A lot of our students here sometimes don't get their first pick, so it's kind of great to see what they want to do after high school. And this is a great event for them to go and see that as well. And that is pretty much what has happened at the end of February and kind of looking forward into March. It is a little busy, but we're hitting springtime, we're hitting that final push, and so great to see all these amazing things, and we're going to have them keep coming.
Anyone have any questions for Representative McPherson? No? Thank you for a wonderful report as always. And now we're going to 3, which is audiences and communications. No? And moving on to announcements, public announcements.
All right, so we have 2 public announcements. I'm going to take the first one, then I'm going to turn it over to Principal Desmond for the second one. And right before we started school committee meeting, we learned that our culinary teacher, Karen Peterson, was recognized as the Massachusetts ProStart Institute Culinary Educator of Excellence for the year. For her, and so when we get a little bit further into the agenda, we do have an unanticipated item that was not anticipated at the time of posting to approve her going to Baltimore in April for the National ProStart Conference. So, you know, anyone who knows Karen and knows her dedication to the school is not surprised by this award. So we're really excited for her. She just got that award today. And then, Mr. Desmond.
Yeah, so it's up here. It's 2 of our plumbing teachers and Ethan Disbrow, one of the plumbing students. But last Saturday, they were at the PHCC annual trade show in Marlborough, and 2 of our students were named as All-Stars. So the All-Star Award. So we have Ethan Disbrow in the plumbing shop, and then Camden Stockinger from the HVAC shop. We're both recognized at the trade show. So that was pretty cool, and that's one of the photos. That was it. Great. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I guess we're going to move on to 4B, conferences, conventions, and meetings.
Yeah, we have, as our student rep mentioned, this is a very, very busy time of year, so please pay attention to the calendar, especially MASC Day on the Hill is early this year. I can't remember who signed up for that already, Robin. So, you know, Robin, you can meet here at the district office, and we'll go up in the school car. Okay. Alrighty. April 3rd, and we'll talk about the calendar a little bit later on in the year, but April 3rd is Good Friday, and that is still a holiday here at the school.
All right, so now let's moving to 4C, news articles, field trips.
So under news articles, you'll read a little bit more about Meg the therapist that our student rep talked about, and some of what she did to help our students prepare for or respond to stress. And it's part of sort of our ongoing strategic plan related to helping students deal with stress, prevent suicide, and things like that. So she's been very well received by our students, and we've heard really good things. She's actually coming back, I believe, at the end of this month for a different month. Okay. Alrighty. Find my. I hate that banner thingy. Oh, stop!
Oh, you know.
Stop. There's a way to unpin it. Okay. Alright. We're on to the consent agenda.
So now number 5, consent agenda. Looking for a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda A, B, C, D, and E as presented on the agenda itself.
We have a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Jerson?
Yes.
Jen?
Yep.
Robin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Consent agenda has been approved. Just-
You're good.
Number 6 now, the treasurer's cash report.
Mr. Chair, just
Yes.
want to, I'm moved to take ratification of C&D out of order for approval now prior to the cash report.
C&D for
Oh, the payroll warrants?
for the payroll warrants?
Just get it out of the way.
Yep.
That's my motion, to approve them now.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Sure.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Jerson?
Yes.
Jen?
Abstention.
And Robin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Approved as well. And now we can go back to our treasurer's cash report.
Hello. This is the cash report through January 31st. So we're all caught up, which feels good. The first page is the cash flow report through January with the total ending balance of $15.4 million. The next page is the gross pay summary report. It runs through January 24th with a total of $15,308,735 for the year. The next page has the budget to actual revenue. It's obviously January, so there's no assessments having been received, but they will be in next month. And the final page is the cash reconciliation report between the bank statements and the general ledger balances. And it's in pretty good shape. There's a couple of deposits and transfers from the last day of the month, but other than that, Sandy's working on the other variances and hopefully clear them up by next month. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Seeing no questions, we'll move to full motion, please.
Move to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. Can we have a
Who
roll
was
call?
second? Jessica.
Yes.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Jerson?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
And Robin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Accepted. Now we'll go on with B for the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Administration report.
Yes, good evening. So you'll see here the appropriated budget. As the superintendent mentioned earlier, we're hard at work balancing the FY27 budget. So I am looking at every line that we have in this year's budget for any opportunity to make purchases out of requests for next year that we can purchase this year to free up some of those funds and help balance next year's budget. But going into the end of this year, in the last 4 months, we have 6.5 million, and we're right where we expect to be. So I wouldn't see anything to raise any concern going into these last 4 months. We also have our revolving funds. You see we have a healthy balance there of 2.4 million at the bottom. So those are all the monies that come in and out of revolving funds from electrical programs, carpentry, cap and gown, many different opportunities there. So that's also areas that I'm looking at as well to help balance next year's requests in the FY27. I can answer any questions if you have any on those two reports.
May I?
Sure.
Mark, I know that we had talked a little bit about looking at the dollar amount that we were holding back on while we were going through our negotiations with our teachers. Do we have that dollar amount?
That dollar amount has actually been budgeted. I budgeted a dollar amount going into this year.
Yep.
It has been budgeted in each salary line. So it's already, if you go back to our appropriated budget and you look at the different salary lines, that amount's been budgeted in those lines to cover the increase that the committee has come to an agreement.
So no matter when we expend, we're going to be okay?
No.
As long as we,
Yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, but just, you know, as long as we expend it by June 30th.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
my point.
But it looks like we're in good shape right now, because
Okay.
we're this close to, I think, having everything signed.
I
and
appreciate
ready to
it.
go, so, yeah.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Thank you. Guess we're now down to 7, old business. FY '27 budget.
So just a really quick update, as Mark and I said, you know, we're working very hard to balance the budget. That's a process we go through every year. And, you know, as those of you who've had the opportunity to sit through our departmental budget meetings, we have the requests and then we have what we can afford. And we try and be very thoughtful about what's there, what we can push into entitlement grants. For those of you who are less familiar with grants, we receive grants from the federal government, Title I, Title IIA, Title IV, for various reasons. Title I is a very large one for us because we have a relatively large percentage of students who come from low-income families and are high-need students, and so we get a fairly significant amount of money through Title I that we pay for many things through. We get a huge amount of money through Perkins, that is the Federal Vocational Education Entitlement Grant. An entitlement means, in this context, if you meet the qualifications for the grant, you are entitled to it. It looks like those are going to be level funded, from what I'm hearing, by the federal government for this coming year. We won't really know until Congress has appropriated the monies, but it looks like they're going to be level funded. So we're just keeping our eye on all of that. There is a new skills capital grant that's out right now that has a deadline in early April that we're evaluating to see, and that's for capital pieces of equipment. So we're looking at that to sort of help us. That would be for July 1st through June 30th of the next fiscal year. So that's going to help us if we apply for that and get some funds there. That's going to help us with some of the equipment requests. So we're looking at lots of different things, but we're in good shape. We always do get the budget balanced. We're not gonna not balance the budget, but trying to do it as skillfully as possible. So at this point, we only have a request from, I believe it's West Bridgewater, to come in front of the FinCom and the Board of Selectmen to present our budget. We have not heard from the other towns. So if you want to reach out to the folks in your town, they may not want us to come this year because many of them are seeing a reduction in their assessment, so they may not be as concerned about it as they have been in some years. But if you want to reach out to folks in your communities and just make sure that we are not missing a request from them. We did send the budget presentation to them. I also have everybody's budget books for them before you leave. They're in the office, and I meant to have them out on the table, so please pick those up before you go. Okay? So that's all of it. And Mark, do you have anything else?
No? Thank you.
All right.
So I guess we'll move to B, transition to diligent, and recording secretary will be giving us an update.
Good. So, we're getting there. The plan is to work with Diligent and to have the April meeting be the first one on the new platform. I sent all of you your information, some videos to look at. During this week, I'll set up all the accounts, all the passwords and everything, and send it to you. And hopefully, we will be ready when that's in April. Because as you've been using it, you've seen Board Docs is not very, it is a little temperamental.
And it's, I think from the public face, Diligent's a better product. It's more user-friendly. As part of that move, we are looking at updating the agenda because we find there's a lot of redundancies in the agenda between, like, what's a communication, what's an audience, what's a, and I think we can sort of streamline the agenda a little bit as well. The agenda is connected to policy, so they have to go hand in hand. So we've included a draft for you to look at and think about, and then so we can get your comments on it as we move forward.
Thank you. New business.
All right.
2025-2026 high school calendar.
All right, so that is this year. the commissioner had a meeting last Wednesday with superintendents in which he expressed that he is willing to accept requests for waivers of the 180-day requirement. Okay, so most years we are required to go to school 180 days, and if we do that, that will put us to June the 30th. That is the latest that we can go, right? Because then you go into a new fiscal year, so you can't do that. But there's some guidelines associated with getting relief. We still have to meet the 990 hours. We have to fulfill all our scheduled snow days, because every year we have to build in 5 full snow days. We have to make up full day for full day, and we need to go through June the 26th. So the most relief we're going to get is 2 days, but it doesn't require us to come back that next weekend and have 2 more days. So I've reached out now a couple of times to DESE. I have a feeling that they're getting lots of requests for relief, and I have not heard anything official back. We usually set the June calendar in April, so hopefully by the time we meet again in April that we will officially set the June calendar. But I'm very, very hopeful that at the latest we'll be out June the 26th, and we will meet the 990 hours, because they won't waive that. 990 hours on learning is a requirement they will not waive. So we will be able to meet that without giving up our Good Friday holiday and without going into April break, which is very important to us to be able to maintain them. So, any questions? Yes.
Many half days.
Oh.
Is that the question?
You know my question.
The other piece of that is it does not affect senior release day, and it does not affect graduation, because those are based on the scheduled last release day. So they actually encourage us not to change the scheduled release and the schedule. So Lauren's got a big smile on her face right now. I'm so excited. So you can go tell all your seniors that this does not affect senior release day, as long as we can get your finals done and everybody is set to go. We'll still release on the same day we had scheduled, and graduation will be June the 10th. Okay, so that is good.
That was my question.
Yeah.
So 8B now, we're looking at 2026, 2027 high school calendar.
Correct. So this is the time of year that we set the calendar for the next year. I have reviewed this with the Federation president, and we cannot start under our contract before September 1st, but we're very lucky this year that September 1st is smack dab on a Tuesday, which is nice. So our plan is September 1st and 2nd for professional development. We've had 2 full days of PD most of the last few years. I think there was one year we couldn't make it work because of the calendar. And teachers report that they really like that. Gives them time to do some really meaningful PD, but also get caught up with their colleagues, set up their classrooms, and it's a nice way to start the year. Students would then report September 3rd, and then we have all the normal holidays built in. We got very good feedback from the teachers about moving the open house to the 2 weekends before Thanksgiving instead of right before Thanksgiving, so we're going to build that in again this year. Normal Thanksgiving recess, the winter recess is going to be another nice long one, because Christmas Eve is on Thursday and Christmas Day is on Friday, so they'll be out that whole time. I think we come back on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of January, so nice long break. We'll have all the normal holidays. And the last tentative day of the school year is June the 16th. I do want to point out that June the 19th, when it falls on a Saturday in Massachusetts, is not observed on the Friday. So, but what we plan to do is for that day, on Friday the 18th, is to develop meaningful programming around Juneteenth, so that students are here. So that's consistent with our handbook that we're open, and consistent with state law that we're open. So we will be open that day if needed, right? Because it'll only be a snow day. And so there are hours, so it should be the 18th, 19th, 22nd. We'll correct them. Okay. So.
19th is Saturday.
No.
Oh, yes, you're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
18th, 21st, 22nd, that's right. We already did correct it, Deb.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is our proposed calendar for the high school for next year, and so I do need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yes, sir?
I should know the answer to this after 9 years, but I don't remember how we resolved it. So have you heard the debate that other school districts are really wanting to start after Labor Day? Yeah. Superintendent goes, okay. What? So why haven't we done that
So we have,
before?
after Labor Day?
so
Because families are gone the
school
week prior.
districts break down into a couple of different boats,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's people who start the last week of August because they want to save a couple of days in June.
Gotcha, yeah.
And folks that start either after September 1st or after Labor Day. We're actually in the sweet spot.
Okay.
Because we're, like, if Labor Day is September 7th, we can still start on the 1st. So we're actually in a pretty good spot. It really comes down to, like, the teacher union preference on whether they want a longer summer at the end or an earlier release in June. And I know I've talked to the Federation leadership, and they're just kind of split 50-50. I don't think there's like, and so they're like, why upset
It's
the
like
apple
that at
cart?
every school, is none of us are in agreement. Some of us like a summer, some of us.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
I think the fact that we can start September 1st puts us in,
it's a good
middle ground.
After Labor Day would be terrible this year too, because if there's snow days, you're so
Right.
close to that June
right
date.
Labor Day is literally as late as it can be.
Yeah.
That's it.
It cannot be later than that day.
Yeah, so it would be miserable to try to start it.
Yeah, because then you could run into.
Yeah, then you can't make it
your
come up.
April break or
Right.
something, which is what we're
Nobody
trying to avoid
wants
like
that.
the plague. So,
Thank you.
yes, but it's a good question.
Motion to approve the 2026-2027 school calendar.
Second.
A roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Motion approved. And then with the C, the TI's calendar for 2026-2027.
Kevin, can you hear us? Do you want to present the calendar?
Sure, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. So, in kind of looking at the Teachers Federation contract and mirroring a lot of what the high school had in place and looking at what we had previously in the TI, it really just was kind of mirroring what was in place last year, modifying the dates to reflect correctly and account for, mostly the nursing, practical nursing graduation and the regular TI graduation in June. The only change that I will denote here is our winter graduation. Last year we had it the week of January 7th, which is right when we came back. And speaking with my other administrators and also with teachers, we said, we could bump it down 1 week. It will not affect the ceremonies and will also not impact the start of the new cohort that typically starts on the 19th in and around there. So that was the major changes there to the calendar. Everything else pretty much, like I said, mirrors what you see in the high school. So that's kind of how we came up with this calendar. Any questions on it?
Motion to approve the STI calendar for 2026-2027.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Getting there.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Debbie.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Motion has been approved. Moving to D, admission and enrollment presentation by the superintendent.
Right. Buckle up, everybody.
I can't wait.
Well, when we get to the 17th slide, let me know.
It's gonna be, okay, let me just this up first.
I'm already starting to receive phone calls.
Oh, I bet.
Really? You know?
Yeah, I'm the lucky one.
Yeah, I don't get any phone calls, that's
So as part of our sort of ongoing planning, we regularly analyze our enrollment and admission trends and enrollment, across all 9 of our communities. looking at both the long-term and short-term enrollment patterns to help us answer some important questions. First, what's happening in our local school districts? Second, it allows us to identify whether there are any long-term or short-term trends we need to be particularly concerned about or respond to. And it helps us understand how we need to respond to increases or decreases in terms of student recruitment and admissions and enrollment. So, we'll go over it and we'll read that to you. Okay. So you see two tables here. On the left side is the total enrollment for each of our 9 sending communities. So this is their pre-K through 12 enrollment in their local schools, right? So this doesn't include their enrollment at Southeastern or at the agricultural school or anything like that. And what you'll notice is, with the exception of West Bridgewater, that had a tiny, tiny little increase, all of our school districts saw a decrease in their district-wide enrollment for last year. Brockton had the largest number of students, lost the largest number of students, over 600, but Stoughton had the largest percentage decrease at just over 5.5%, okay? And then the table on the right is just your 8th grade, right? So those are our students that we are recruiting. So just in between FY25 and this year, again, we saw decreases in most of our communities. Easton had a little boost in their 8th grade, as did Norton. Okay, but again, most of our schools, school districts saw a decrease in the total 8th grade student population. Okay, and in some cases, you can see like Brockton's 8th grade decreased at a higher rate than their overall enrollment. So that's significant for us. So then we want to compare our applications versus the 8th grade enrollment, right? Because it makes sense that if enrollment is decreasing across our region, we should see a smaller number of applications, sort of. But what we want to look at is how do our applications compare against the decrease, right? So you will see that, for example, our admissions applications from Mansfield went down 33%, but their total student enrollment only went down just about 2%, right? Same thing with Norton. Their 8th grade population went up 4.3%, but applications are down, right? Stoughton is a big decrease from 122 to 86, and that's our second largest sending district, right? We look at a community like Sharon, because the numbers are so small, one student could really skew that. But when you're looking at Stoughton, that's a fairly significant decrease that is not explained by just the decrease in enrollment, right? So that we need to really pay attention to. The same thing with West Bridgewater. So and we're not really sure what's going on and why we're seeing such a big decrease in those communities versus, we know that Easton's had a lot of financial issues going on, so I'm not surprised to see this. I am a little bit surprised that Foxborough is up as much as it is. Again, we're looking at fairly small numbers, so a couple of students can really skew that, but it's just interesting to note. So, long term. So between our year of graduation 2030, right, which are the students who will be coming in September, and year of graduation 2037, so current first graders, we're going to see some fairly significant fluctuations in the total number of 8th graders in the region. The peak is in the year of graduation 2034. Those are our current 5th graders, where we're going to see almost 3,000 8th graders across the region. And then our current first graders, if we look out, there's only 2,630 of them. So that's a fairly, it's almost a 10%, more than a 10% drop in the total enrollment over time. I do want to give you a little caveat about these long-term enrollment trends, because they're based on the assumption that a student in the first grade is promoted to the second grade, is the third, and stays in that district through the 8th grade, right? And there's a lot of variability in there. So it's, we can't say this is accurate, but it gives us a good framework to understand the potential trends. So I do want to kind of, make sure that caveat is there. So I separated the towns from Brockton because if you add Brockton, it skews the whole graph. You can't really make sense of it. So what we see almost across all of our towns is for the next couple of years, we're going to see a little bit of a dip, and then it's going to start going back up until we get to that year of graduation, 2034, which is FY30, right? FY31. It's the 30-31 school year. Then it's going to start to go back down in most of our communities. The only one that stays sort of relatively stable, that is anticipated to have the same number of 8th graders in year of grad 2037 versus today is Stoughton. That's that top brown line. They've got projected 261 8th graders in 2037, and that's how many they have today. So other than that, most of the school districts are looking at a potential decrease of like between 15 and 20% over the next 7 years. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So again, short term we anticipate some dips in enrollment, but most of the towns will have significantly smaller 8th grade populations than they do today. And you can see, like, you know, if Easton stays on the track it's on, you're looking at almost close to a 30% decrease over that time. Brockton, a little bit of a different story. So the next couple of years, big dip, right? Wow. Very big dip, but then we're going to start climbing. And if they can maintain and retain those students, they're actually going to be in pretty good shape long term. But they've got to get through these next couple of years. And as you know, Brockton has an outsized impact on our school district because of the number of and percentage of students from Brockton who go. So that's sort of just another way of looking at our total 8th grade enrollment, which is just almost a W, right? Like a 3/4 of a W. So just something that we all need to sort of keep in mind as we are thinking about our strategies for recruitment, retention, budgeting, right? When you're seeing communities that may be experiencing some massive enrollment decreases, they're going to be fighting for every dollar that's going to matter for us. So again, like I said, Brockton likely to follow the same pattern as most of the towns in the immediate short term, but over time, it looks like if they can hang on to those students, they could be in pretty good shape over the next 6 or 7 years. Brockton is 39% of our market share in terms of 8th graders, but over 65% of our enrollment. So that's why how Brockton goes is how we go, right? So we need to think about that. Obviously, we do not know right now how the admissions lottery has affected the community perception of Southeastern. We don't know if that's the reason that we saw those sort of big decreases in Stoughton and West Bridgewater and whatever. We don't have any even anecdotal data to really to inform that right now. I think that'll be part of our work after this lottery is done to try to understand what that is. We need to think about the department is really pushing the expansion of CTE programs outside of traditional vocational schools. And for example, Brockton right now is seeking Chapter 74 approval of their own electricity program and their own media services program, what we call video and performing arts, or digital cinema and broadcasting, whatever we're calling it this year. I haven't gotten used to that one yet. Again, we've talked about this the last couple of school committees, aligning student interest and industry need, right? So as in, our enrollment is going to increase with the STEM edition expansion, but that means competition for those in-demand shops is expanding also, and we have to be able to respond to that. And just being mindful about the financial pressures on our sending communities, because dollars follow kids, and as kids leave, so do the dollars. So unless there's some massive, and again, that could happen too, revision to the statutory formula for funding. So pending approval of our Chapter 70 robotics and automation program, which we hope we will get in June, we will be able to enroll 438 ninth graders in September of 2026, right? We are, and I'll talk about the lottery in a minute, but until we have that approval, we're holding our admissions number at 420, okay? Because we really want to have that approval before we add additional kids. right now, we need to attract and enroll 1 out of every 7 students in our region to maintain our full enrollment. By 2037, we're looking at 1 out of every 6. So we still have great interest in our program, right? We had 1,100 applications for 420 spots this year. But I just don't want us to become complacent. It has not been that long, and I know some of our teachers who have been here a while remember the days when we didn't have a waiting list, right? And we were really out there recruiting and trying to build our brand. And we've been very successful at that. And we just cannot sit on our laurels and become complacent and assume that with all these changes happening that we're always just going to be able to have more than enough students to get us in. So what are some of our next steps? I think for us, it's very important that we set ourselves apart and ensure that when families are out there making decisions about 9th grade, that they understand the difference between what we offer as a wall-to-wall full-time vocational school versus a innovative career pathway or even a CTE program in a comprehensive school where it's really part-time. All those programs have value, and I do not ever want anyone to think that exposing students to career education is ever a bad thing. They're just different, and I want people to make informed decisions about what they're buying into, right? We want to revitalize our recruiting efforts, and that includes in-person tours for all 8th graders. That's something that we haven't done in a while. We have, because we interviewed every single student, we have spent a lot of time, instead of bringing students here for tours, going to the middle schools and interviewing students. That's no longer a requirement, and so that is freeing us up to spend time doing other things. And one of those things we want to do is bring those 8th graders here so they can see the shop, not just at open house, but on a school day when it is running, and they can really get a sense of what the school feels like and the energy in the building, and we think those are really important. We want to work on updating our, did you have a question? Okay. We want to work on updating our multimedia promotional materials. If you've seen our website, you know our videos are outdated, and we really need to invest time and money in getting those up to date. We've talked about already that we want to really align our programs with what students have interest in, but also what our employers have the strongest interest in, so that we're not just, getting the right kids in here, but we're maximizing placements in the programs that lead to industry recognized credentials and co-op and jobs. So I will not read all of these bullet points to you, but as we are going through and balancing the budget and prioritizing, some of the big ticket items are going to be transportation for 8th grade tours. If we want every 8th grader to come here, we have to do that on our own dime, okay? That is something we haven't done in a while. So that is a cost, especially when you think about how many middle schools that we serve in our catchment area. We want to make sure that we are differentiating our program from innovative career pathways and the CTE programs, and the best way to do that is get kids in the door. We need to invest in digital marketing and social media campaigns. That is going to align with what the TI is working on right now, which is their rebranding and updating and making our materials user-friendly for the way that people communicate and receive information today. We want to increase our middle school supports because our middle school guidance counselors are some of our best resources. When they know what we offer, when they're very clear about what the admissions process is, when they're really looking out for the best interest of their students, they can be our best advocates. We want to expand our student ambassador program to help support those tours. And then, as I've said, and I can't emphasize enough, work on the strategic program analysis, which includes having somebody come in and doing a facility space and use analysis for us and sort of financial modeling around effectiveness of programs. So I just did a 6-page report in like 7 minutes. So anyway, does anyone, I know that's a lot of information to sort of throw at you all at once. And again, I'm not alarmed or surprised by what I see. I just think that we need to be mindful and, like I said, not to become complacent because we have been successful so far. You know, we can't just assume that we're going to continue to be unless we're really positioning ourselves to show people what we do and what the opportunities are here. So. Questions?
Just one quick question.
Yes, sir.
How would we logistically grab all the 8th graders?
We used to do it.
But how did you do it? I'm just being nosy.
I wish Christina was here.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's when we had our own buses.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We had our own buses.
And your kids could sign up for like a half day out and they would get on the bus. I think usually 2, depending on how many.
Meeting at the school?
4 buses, Mom?
At the middle school, yeah.
At the middle school.
And field trip. It would be, yeah, you would have to get permission. You could only go if you had like applied, and then you could take out, go for half the day.
So under the
Excellent
regulations, the middle schools are supposed to allow every student. They're not supposed to cherry pick who can come and who can't. We are supposed to organize with them on Tuesday, you know, September the 20th.
All are welcomed.
Oh, so you're
We're
talking
gonna
about
bring
bringing up.
every student from Pluff, every 8th grade student from Pluff here to visit.
Oh.
As long as we provide they don't have to provide any transportation.
They just have to agree on the day to do a half day tour.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
it.
obviously, Easton and East Bridgewater are easier, right?
And bring,
One
and
school,
you're saying,
that they go to.
bring
Yes,
all
it's
of the 8th
the
graders,
same.
not even just the ones that are interested.
Bring them all.
Now, is that something we would do, I'm assuming, like before open house, so that then when they say, Mom, like, I love it, now Mom comes.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, I can see Mark down there going like, how are we gonna pay for all this right
all
now?
right, budgeted.
So, budgeting balancing the budget just got a little bit more challenging, but no, it is actually we have already presented that as a component of the,
Budget.
of the access and engagement budget for next year. So, that's part of, it has been included in our budget.
Do you think you're gonna get a lot of pushback from any of the districts for that route, or?
It'll be interesting to see, although I don't know how they're gonna push back since it's been written into the.
They have to add it into their policies too. Middle schools have to add a CTE policy by the same date that, or around the same date that vocational schools had to update their admissions policy.
Yeah, I know Brockton High, they've been doing, been bringing in some of the 8th graders.
Yeah.
And giving them tours at Brockton High and some of the programs are offered at Brockton High as well. So.
Are other CTE programs, are they similar to this? Where don't you have to apply and then you're not guaranteed a spot in those, like at Brockton High, like you're not guaranteed a spot in those CTE programs. So they're highly
They had to
competitive
go
too.
to lottery too.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay, just speaking of Brockton, so I don't know what Jerson, if you've experienced. I go into a meeting, they said, oh, we're so sorry, Bishop, we're going to get our own electrical program. And I'm saying to myself, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it spreads out the wealth.
It's not.
Right?
It's not a bad thing. So one of the things, like we had a meeting. Desi had to meet with us to talk about Brockton's application, and you know, they don't want to create redundant programs.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, we had, I don't remember now, but it was like we can only accept 30 freshmen into our electrical program, and we had 50, maybe 45, 50 who chose it as their first shop, right? So we'd be very hard pressed to say to Desi that there's not enough need in the region to support another program. Now, what we want to do is be the best electricity program.
Right, exactly.
Right, so that when students go to select, they're like, well, yes, the one that Brockton has is great, that's fine, but this is more robust. They're going to get all the hours they need to go in, you know, when they leave to go into Union and start their apprenticeship program and things like that they will not get at Brockton High School. Unless Brockton does something tremendously different with their schedule.
I do, like, for those students that did not get the electrical, are we reaching out for them to do the dual enrollment? Even though the like what is going, like, is the dual enrollment, is that like...
The TI is
that
open
maxed
to our
out?
own students.
Right, and are those kids being brought in, because, right, it is creating redundancy, but how many of them know that they can do the dual
It's
enrollment or?
only available to seniors, correct?
No. Oh, I thought you could start junior year.
Senior,
That you can
second
start.
semester senior year. Because you have to have met
Do
or
your
be
first
very
hours.
close to, meet, you have to have been very close to meeting your core academic requirements. Yeah.
I have seen a few of the newsletters from Ms. Becker and from the TI. They've been absolutely fantastic, highlighting the teachers as well as programs. Those shared outside of SERSD, where are those outside of that?
The announcements?
Yes.
Well, they're shared through our social media, through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through Instagram, through TIA actually does a pretty good job of posting on a fairly regular basis. We have really good participation from like Mansfield in the dual enrollment program. But, I just signed a dual enrollment agreement yesterday for a student, so I know that we did good.
Another one today.
And another one
I
today.
have one more question. Kids that don't go here for the dual enrollment, can they start senior year or junior year? I thought it was junior year.
For
Like if a Easton High School kid wanted to do a dual enrollment, they could start the night school here, their junior year of high school.
I think you're thinking of the
Second
SOAR
semester.
program.
Second semester of their senior year.
I think that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, we used to have the SOAR program.
Right.
That's what we used to
So
That
That was like earlier.
Yeah, so
Right,
it's
those
senior
younger
year and then
kids.
you have to continue on.
Yeah, so you get one semester at no cost to you. Like, that's the real benefit. And then, with electrical, there's definitely time after that. You have to put in.
Is every town now involved in the dual enrollment program?
Probably, I think East Bridgewater was the last one, and I think they signed on for a student. They had a student who advocated for themselves, so I believe so. I think last FY 20, we're in FY 26, right? FY 25, I believe we had at least one student from every community in dual enrollment. It's a small program, like it doesn't, I think Mansfield one year had 8 students, which is, I think there were like 15 overall. Like it's not 100 kids, it can't be, because it's just really hard to manage, but for the student, because they're still doing their academics, and then they're coming here late into the evening, and so it's not for every student.
I have another question. It's a little off brand, but why is electrical so sought after over something like machine tech?
I think there's a lot. There are a few things. One, I think it's very easy for people to understand what an electrician is. And I think with machine tech, that has really been a challenge. And you can talk to this as well, that it's really a struggle for students to understand what a career in that pathway looks like. And their families struggle to understand what it looks like, because they think it's still like back in the old days when it was like this dark, greasy, that's their impression of what it was. And now it's like a lot of computer programming, it's a lot of robotics and automation. So we're hoping with our new Chapter 74 robotics and automation that will sort of breathe new life into what, precision machine is.
That and the equipment, we haven't updated that shop in a while, and the shop does not look like industry currently.
Yeah.
Kids today are very digital, very computer driven. When you see manual stuff and cranking handles, they are not interested. They're just not. It's not their fault. That's generations. So some of that's going to be helpful with the robotics program. Should really help that. That's what we're hoping anyway. And we do have a new instructor this year, Dan, who's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with electric placement as we go further, because it's such a saturated industry.
Well, that's the thing we got to look at, right? Because just because they want electricity, how many are actually staying in the trade?
Right.
That's the important
that's like really,
number.
but like that's like
Not how
really
many
more so
people
my
want
point.
it,
Like
but how many
we can't get them
electricians
out
are
on
we
like yes, we can get them out in co-op because we have these partnerships, but after co-op and they graduate, let's say they're laid off or whatever, and they want to stay in the industry, how easy it is for them to get another job without the school backing them. I don't really.
We have a really, really good industry placement rate for electricity. It's one of the higher shops. So we haven't seen that recently. If we had a sudden, it's like everything. If you have a sudden downturn in the economy, you might, any of electricity, plumbing, HVAC, you would see a downturn. But the last few years, we have not had any issues getting students. co-op jobs or post, I mean, they were, I can't even remember how many signing.
And
how
the
many
electrical
students signed
shop?
on. Yeah.
I was gonna say plumbing is not doing well.
Plumbing is different. So which is why, like when we talk about strategic program analysis, and what we're running into is, why do students pick a shop? Because that has to be part of it. And sometimes it's, I see myself in this industry forever, right? Other parts of it are, well, I came to Southeastern because I didn't want to go to my local high school. And I like this teacher, he's really cool, and I can see myself spending 6 hours a day in here with the teacher, right? But I have no interest in being a plumber, and I'm not ever going to be a plumber, and I'm taking the spot from somebody who wants to be a plumber. So one of the things that we are looking at for next year is, as part of our rubric, because as you know, I talked about placement and how we have some issues around placement, is with the rubric is administering a interest and aptitude assessment as part of placement, right? And really sort of helping students dig into what do you really want to do and be, and does your shop pick align with that, your interest and aptitude, right? And trying to get the right students into the right programs.
If there's a huge impact of like the order in which they try the shops? Like, are kids more likely to rank in their top 3 the last couple shops they visited? Yeah.
There's typically a recency bias, right?
Well, I was going to say, is
typically a recency bias, but I don't have the data in front of me, but it's a good question.
See, my question is, just the 2-day versus the 3-day shop time that you spend, is that enough time for you to develop a real sense of what the shop is doing? Because, like, from what I understand from some teachers, is that the freshmen that are coming in and doing exploratory are absolutely not getting like a first account of what their shop is daily. And I like our 3-day schedule, but I'm wondering if the 2-day schedule is too short, or if we went to like I know you guys did a lot of work to get to this 2-3-day thing that you have. I just don't know how beneficial it is to our kids, like picking the right shop.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, there's a whole group of teachers, vocational teachers and administrators working on these questions right now and trying to answer, like, what is the best way to do it?
Right,
and,
like how many hours?
Anybody, like Heather can speak to it. I welcome Jenny Enos, who can speak to, and Jenny's been here a long time, and Heather too, and can speak to like all the different ways we've done exploratory.
Right.
And there are pluses and minuses for students and pluses and minuses for teachers. So everybody used to do 1 day in every program, right? So every student got exposed to every program. Some teachers love that because they get to see every kid. Some teachers despise that because it is literally weeks and weeks of Groundhog Day, right? And then students picked and went into a shop for 5 days, right? Well, then after the first day, if that kid wasn't happy, you've got a student in there for 4 days who's like, why am I here? What am I doing? So there are positives and negatives across the board for how we do exploratory, but everything is on the table right now. So we're looking at it all because, yeah, I mean, how do you pick what you're 14 years old to start out with?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
There's check mark number 1.
Check mark number 1, and we're asking you to pick what you want to be for the rest of your life by Christmas.
And love it.
Right? So,
And love it.
And it's a lot, right? And sort of balancing what's a reasonable way to assess students.
What was your freshman year, Kelsey?
We did 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, which was a very long time.
How many shops did you go through?
I think 9. But we did the whole year, right? So we did like September to May.
Yeah.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And then, but that was a long time. But
I don't see a lot of support for that.
yeah, no, I wouldn't even.
Teachers in the audience are like,
over there?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even suggest that. I think that would just be too much.
No, see, when I went, we picked 4. Well, we got 4 for the year.
Yeah.
So we switched every semester or whatever you
Yeah.
wanted to call it at that time. So we got a health, way different back then.
Right, that's
and I
a long
understand
time.
that, it's not. I am not that generation, so.
I just don't know. I just think for some kids, like if you're not into Cosmo, being in there for 2 days is a great amount of time for you. But if
And
you
even
are
that's probably too much. Yeah.
right, but if you are into so maybe they don't do 15 tours, they do 11.
Everything is on
Yeah.
the table, including extending exploratory so that they get to see every shop.
Like
'Cause right
past
now, past, because it's very
Christmas.
nice to place them when we come back from Christmas, and like it makes, if they start in shop at the end of the first semester, it's like very clean, right? It's very clean for
Right.
us. But is it necessarily in the best interest of students? Is it in the best interest of shops if they don't get to see every student, right? Because right now our students see 15 shops and we have 20, right? So,
And the
but all
students
that's
get
being
no say in
developed
that,
with the
right?
vocational
No, they get
teachers
that
because
side.
it's.
The
What's that?
students get no say in the 15 shops,
They
or they
do.
do?
Yeah,
They
they
do.
pick their 15 shops.
They pick
All right.
5 and then we randomly assign 10.
Oh, I thought they picked all 15 that they want to explore.
No, they pick
Oh.
5 and they pick their top 5 and we randomly assign 10. And we make sure that they get their
I
top
kind of
5.
like that. Because kids,
Interesting.
I like that because kids don't know what they're gonna like and what they're not gonna like.
Well, and I think we have so many more kids, like, now, kids coming that say, like, I just don't want to go to Foxborough, Brockton, or Mansfield, so they don't even know what they're looking for. Whereas I
Right.
feel like it used to be like, oh, I'm gonna be a plumber like my mom, or I'm gonna be, like, I don't
My
know.
dad told me.
Yeah, so like I feel like kids used to come with like they kind of knew what shop they wanted. I feel like now a lot of kids don't really know what they want. They're just coming here to.
Yeah.
And
do
yeah, I
something.
mean, I guess for
Not
strategic
everyone,
planning, it would be good to see how we go forward.
These are all really, really good questions, and then, like I said, there's a group of vocational teachers and administrators who've been working on this. One of our big questions is what role, if any, should academic grades play in placement? Because we identified that as like the single most inequitable assessment point for students with disabilities and students who speak English as a second language, right? So that is, everything is legitimately on the table as we look at placement for next year. And we'll have to bring all of that to the school, because that's part of the admissions policy. All of that has to come to you for review.
Thank you,
These
Holly.
are all really good questions. I really appreciate them.
No, thank you. And thank you.
All right, thanks for that wonderful discussion and presentation. So we'll move on to 8E, which is the DEC International Career Development Conference.
Okay, before we get to this one, I would like to ask, so I don't forget, the school committee, and again, this was not anticipated at the time of posting, if I can get a motion and approval from the school committee to send culinary arts teacher Karen Peterson to the National Pro Start Conference in Baltimore in April. I don't have the exact dates, but I did not want it to be earlier than your next meeting and us not be able to approve.
As presented by the superintendent, that is the motion.
Second.
Yeah.
Is anybody else going with her? Because it sounds like fun.
Roll call vote. Tony,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Jerson,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jess,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. And then now I would ask that you move to approve the DECA International Career Development Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, for 1 staff advisor and 2 students from April 25th to 29th. Those are the dates of the conference. So I did add the caveat that there may be additional travel days as needed.
As presented on the agenda, that is the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Jessica,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Jerson,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes.
Bless you. Bless you. That is riveting.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. We have another wonderful.
I know everybody's been waiting for this one. I'm just
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna step out.
This is
Ay,
Assistant
ay,
Superintendent of
can't
Finance and Administration.
Yes, so good evening. Where do we start?
Matt's got his helmet on.
Again, I'm sure if you've read your local national
Oh, yeah.
newspaper, watched the news, insurance rates, right? Topics for town budgets, municipal budgets. Good news is we're self-funded, so our rates are based on our employees, our own staff, so we're not in a consortium where we're supplementing maybe a fire department or a police department or some other department. That being said, across the board, insurance rates are going up nationally. When we started, so we get our claim rates every month, so I've been looking at those just in perception and just to see where we're getting, where we're going to be headed. So back in November, I reached out to our insurance advisors just to try to get a handle on, or at least an idea of where we're looking at. At that time, they came to me. I went to the superintendent and let her know that we're looking at roughly a 25% increase for health insurance rates in November. Over the next couple of months, some of the claims were, they trended in the positive direction for us, for rate-wise. We were able to get that to roughly a 20% increase. The Insurance Advisory Committee, we met twice within the last month to kind of review these rates, look at a menu of different options that we could do if we wanted to try to change some of the plan designs, where we could save some money, maybe increase co-pays, deductibles, those type of things. So we have representatives on the Insurance Advisory Committee that represent the Federation, non-Federation, retirees. They went back to their members, went over some of those different options, where we were at, different things we had. One of the clear options up front being self-insured, we had the option that we could cut GLP-1 medications. So across the board, just on our plan, that was over a $300,000 cost last year, and it was up to us, but if we did want to cut those GLP-1 medications, we could go down to 16.4% from the 20%.
Actually, Mark, can you kind of put the caveat in, like those are for, so people who are diabetic in need of a GLP-1 can
Correct.
be covered?
So it's more people that are using the GLP-1s for weight loss, for cosmetic, different types of situations that would not be covered. That being said, though, we still do offer FSA plans. I know that the superintendent reached out to her own pharmacy just to find out some information, and those drugs are also the prices are being cut back dramatically from where they were a year ago. There are coupons out there for people that do need that drug, again, if it's for weight loss or different other cosmetic type of needs. So that being said, there are different options to kind of offset those costs as well. But again, so when the members went back to their members to get some information, we met again a couple weeks later, and we were all in favor of not making any plan change designs or any design changes to the plan at all, leaving it as is. So co-pays are the same, all the things, but we did decide to cut the GLP-1s.
Good.
And I think across the board, you've seen the GIC in the state of Massachusetts, they've cut GLP-1s. Anyone that's not self-insured, Blue Cross has said that they're cutting GLP-1s, so that they don't even have that option. So it's something that really wasn't a surprise to many people, I guess, when they saw it, and that's what the representatives of those different members came back and said, that people weren't really surprised to hear that, and it was kind of something that they were anticipating that was going to happen. So that being said, we were able to come down from 25% to 16.4%, and that's an increase for the FY27 rates.
25.
No, I know,
But just so you,
just overall.
but just so you know, we also offer different type of plans. We offer HSA plans, which are a little more affordable, so people get education on that. There's different options. So we do have some different options for people, right? It's not just one plan that we have. We do have multiple plans, so people can take a look at and make some choices.
And just, piggyback on that. So the two biggest cost drivers for us were the GLP-1s. So we have about 10% of our members. So our members include the employee, subscriber, and their eligible dependents. So we had about 10% of our members who were taking the GLP-1s, and it was driving about 4.5% of the cost, right? And then on top of that, our big claimants are our employees or their dependents who had claims over $50,000, went from 15 total people to 24, and those costs increased over 300%. So and I mean, anybody who's been at the school district knows we've had some folks really get hit with some stuff. And so it is our people, right, that we're taking care of. But those are sort of the two really, really big drivers. And the cost of those big claimants was, I can't remember now, it's close to $800,000.
I think it was like 857.
Went from 200 and something thousand to $800,000. So. So those are the big drivers. We've been very lucky up to this point to avoid these really big increases. As you know, last year we worked really hard and got it under 10% increase, but you know, I think we did as well as we could under the circumstances. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. Our dental insurance is good. Everything else is good. All right. Any questions for Mark or me?
Downstairs.
All right.
All right, thank you. I guess we'll move on to report of committees, 9. And chair's reports first again. Well, I know looking at the weather outside today, doesn't seem like what was a few weeks back. So I know we thanked our custodial and grounds crew. I just wanted to start first by thanking them for all the hard work that they put in with our recent blizzard. And also, we participated in the spring advisory meeting a few days ago. And I am pleased to report that it was a highly productive and successful session. I know even when I left, I know some of the members were still meeting with some of our staff and industrial partners as well, industry partners as well. Also, a few subcommittee updates. We, in addition to our advisory work, the board remained active in our governance duties. We recently held the meetings for both the Personnel and Policy Subcommittee, and those chairs of those two committees will present a little bit more detail on what was discussed. But in closing, I just wanted to thank everyone who continues to contribute to our success here in our school community. That's from the superintendent, the staff, our paraprofessionals, our teachers, and obviously our grounds crew and everybody around this table as well. So again, thank you. And that's it for me. We'll move on to I'm not sure if the legislative liaison has a report for us today. If not, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. The graduation council formed by the governor, as you remember, after the ballot law to eliminate MCAS graduation requirements, they will issue their final report in June. The recommendations that they make will then require legislative action. So we're a long way from that, but that did move along. The new Secretary of Education, who I believe started this month of March, replacing Tutwiler, is Stephen Strike Jr., who served for 6 years as superintendent of Salem Public Schools. He has 30 years of experience in public education. MASC has adopted a 5-year strategic plan, 2025 to 2030, with, among other things, will emphasize strengthening advocacy, engaging with legislators to advance priorities, which leads me to the Day on the Hill, which is coming up soon, March 30th. It is a very worthwhile event, if your schedule permits. The culinary departments, including Southeastern, prepare an amazing lunch, and then meeting with key legislators is always important and helpful to promote our priorities. And I'm going to finish and ask Robin. Robin, I think you attended the Southeastern Roundtable Legislative Breakfast. Can you tell us what went on there and what you thought about that?
Okay, we had the breakfast last week. Mark and I and Cameron Costa attended. A lot of discussion was about the state aid because so many cities and towns were held harmless. So we're trying to do something about the $75 per pupil, raise it, because I think last year it was $150, so they're trying to get that raised. There were discussions about transportation. They mentioned that special ed outside placements are averaging $175,000 per student. So there was a lot of discussion about that. There were a number of legislators who spoke on, speaking of that, MASC Division 3 is having their They're having a lunch and learn this Friday, which is being sponsored by Division 3, which is our division, Southeastern Mass, and they're doing 70 minutes on Chapter 70. And they do that almost every year, and it's very worthwhile. So that's coming up. Day on the Hill, of course, is coming up, and in May, we're having a legislative dinner here for Division 3. We had it last year. It was Division 3's most successful meeting. We served them steak tips. They want to come back.
Nice. So we're having steak tips again.
We're having steak tips again. And so if you can come, please do. Because it's worthwhile. And we'll be inviting a lot of the local legislators here, so it's a good way to reach out to your senators and representatives. And so
do you have the date?
May 14th.
That's Division 3.
Division 3.
So thank you, Robin, and that's nice that they want to come back and that we're going to have it here. It was very successful last year. Thank you.
All right, I guess we'll move on to Personnel Subcommittee meeting report.
All right, good evening, everyone. The Personnel Subcommittee met prior to the school committee meeting today, and we reviewed proposed revisions to 2 job descriptions. The first is cafeteria staff. The second was previously listed as preschool, infant, toddler, paraprofessional, renamed preschool teacher. And the latter job description was modified to meet DESE and early education and care revised criteria. The recommended changes that the school committee made for cafeteria staff job position was just to flesh out the meaning of what dependability is, and then for both job descriptions, we also one of the recommendations we had made was to include the hourly rate, and so we had all approved to be able to bring this to the full committee with those changes.
Thank you. I believe we need a motion.
Move to approve the revisions as presented by the chair of the policy committee, subcommittee.
Personnel
Committee, that's me.
Oh, second. So motion have been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
I didn't hear for a second.
I did.
And
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Lonnie?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Justin?
yes,
Jen?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
motion has been accepted. And now,
The policy.
it's policy. And thank you for the previous presentation as well. Now to policy subcommittee meeting report.
Thank you all. The policy subcommittee met prior to this school committee meeting. We went over, as the agenda indicated, policies JJE, KHA, and KHB. Other policies that were not, they don't have revisions, they was just simply review, but specific to what we looked at in terms of an edit. I believe it was policy KHB, advertising in schools. Am I right on that?
JJE is the one you wanted to approve this evening,
Okay.
and the others you have deferred for us to make additional revisions.
Okay, my notes are wrong. Apologize to you all in the public. And Superintendent JJE, what were our revisions?
I will bring that up on the screen. The revisions are related to recent changes, my laptop's being quirky, recent changes in state law and regulations that prohibit students from participating in fundraising through games of chance, and they also prohibit us from awarding students any additional benefit because they raise more money than another student and things like that. So the revisions bring our policy into compliance with state law and regulations.
Great, thank you.
After that presentation by our superintendent, I would like to move for the full school committee to approve the revision as presented.
Okay.
All right, motion has been moved.
Jen
And
had
seconded.
seconded.
And seconded by Jen.
Who's, Jess?
Jen.
Jen.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Thank you.
And the policy has been accepted. Now we have 10 report of administrators, starting with our superintendent.
Okay, so I just want to sort of give a brief, just reminder that on Friday, this Friday, March the 13th at 6 o'clock, we will have our inaugural inaugural admissions lottery. It will be live streamed on our Facebook page. It is not open to the public. We simply can't accommodate all 1,100 applicants and their families. But it will be live, it will be recorded, and we will make the results available typically within the hour after, unless barring some technological glitch. We will make the results available on our website, and we'll provide a link. We'll provide a link from our Facebook page, from our home page and things, so folks don't have to go hunting for it. So that is going to happen Friday. All the school committee are welcome to attend, but if not, it is going to be live streamed and recorded. I do want to provide just a brief update on negotiations. So as you know, we have reached an agreement in principle with our Teachers Federation. We have provided a memorandum of agreement to them, which outlines our understanding of the changes that we have agreed to. They currently have that draft and are reviewing it. And I just want to be clear, the memorandum of agreement is, this is what we've agreed to that's different from the last contract. And we all agree that this is what's different, especially around the compensation and things, but it is not the final draft of the contract, right? Once they sign that, then we're good to go around compensation and things for this year, for FY26, but we will work on the actual full contract, and that will take some time to make sure all the language is up to date. But I do not have a date on which the Federation is going to vote on that. The president, Mr. Pellegrino, has told me that he believes that he will have an agreement before March the 24th. So I believe they have a meeting on March the 18th. So, but that's all I know at this point. So they do have it. I think, you know, the school closure did sort of slow that process down a little bit because they were not able to meet as a group. So that is all I have.
Any questions?
Comments?
Comments?
Congratulations, can we say that? I mean,
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
we can't, not encouraged yet? Okay. No.
Soon.
All right.
You do that with switching spots.
Wait, I wanted to switch.
Yeah, I thought
We can all.
We're close.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Close as we've been in a long time. So.
Maybe by the next meeting.
All right, so I guess we'll be moving on to the principal's report.
Yeah, so a few things just to touch on. Literacy obviously is continuing in the school. Next week we have our next in-service where teachers will continue their lit camps. They started in December. They have another session now. And then their final one will be in May, where they'll kind of share their expertise with each other. Co-op still up and running. As of this afternoon, we had 273 students out on co-op, so between our juniors and seniors. And again, I get things every day adding on new students, so that continues to go. Lauren touched on sports and activities earlier, but our winter sports finished. Spring sports do start next week, so we have baseball, lacrosse, softball, track and field, and volleyball will all start next week. And I do want to highlight on this coming Friday, one of our indoor winter track students, Giovanni Ribeiro, he qualified for nationals. So he'll be going to the New Balance Center in Boston where nationals is held, so it's kind of cool it's here. I don't know if anybody's been to the track at New Balance, but it's pretty impressive to go see. But he'll be competing in the long jump. He's at 23 feet, 3.75 inches, which is 7.11 meters. That's his long jump. That's his personal best. That's a school record. That's all kinds of things here for us. So he is going to compete on Friday. He's super excited to go, and we'll have a little send off for him on Friday before he goes off. So he's excited.
Nice.
His name again?
Giovanni Ribeiro.
I struggle with the stairs.
Yeah. Access testing, we just finished last week. It was supposed to conclude at the end of February. We had an extension with the blizzard. We had one student left, and we got him done, so we had 100% completion with access testing. Last month I did mention Katie Tuccinardi and Noah Simonkiewicz for their work, but I do want to highlight Christine DeLuca, who's one of our ESL teachers and also a coordinator. She does so much work behind the scenes with our students, in front of our students and behind the scenes with organizing the testing and things to make sure it all gets done. So she made sure the last student got tested, and we are good to go. Everything's been submitted. So just congratulations to all of them for all their work with that. As you all already mentioned, Spring Advisory was last week. It was great. I would just want to again thank Mary Colby and Jared Lucier, our vocational supervisors, for their work. Jen Hall, who's really the boss behind the work to make sure everything gets done. So she did a great job. And then our culinary department, as always. So Leah Doolin, Scott Tessier, and our newly Educator of the Year, Karen Peterson, with the help of Heidi Newhall and Anne-Marie Hunt, two of our paraprofessionals, and then our culinary students. For those that are here, it was a delicious meal, and I would like the brisket again because that was pretty delicious.
Oh, the brisket.
That was good. So we got that. Skills USA, the district competition was last Friday. I think we had 175 students compete, and a number of competitions and tests and things. But Dave Deegan is still kind of spearheading that. But our Skills USA advisors, Leah Doolin, Michelle Packard, and Mark Ramundo, so they did great work to make sure that everything went off without a hitch. We did get our results today, so I can give some preliminary numbers. I don't want to give names though because the awards are on Thursday night. But we had 38 students of 175. They placed top 3. 29 of those students have qualified for states. So we had 13 gold medal winners, 14 silver medal winners, 9 bronze medal, and we have 2 qualified as state officers. So they'll be competing for that those as well. So congratulations to all of them, and it's a pretty impressive number for our students. So it's great. And then Thursday night we get to honor them all. So it's cool. I had admissions on there, but Holly already mentioned that this Friday, 6 o'clock, tune in, Facebook. ELA MCAS is in 2 weeks. We do have our infrastructure trial tomorrow, so the kids will go and make sure everything is working the way it's supposed to work, and it gives us some time to fix some things that they need to. Our sophomores will all be taking ELA MCAS on March 24th to 25th. We've met with all the students, talked about it. Everyone is ready to go and on board and taking the test, so that'll be good. And then I put Mr. Southeastern on here. It was scheduled for this Friday. It is being rescheduled to either late April, early May. They haven't solidified a date yet, so that'll be coming up soon.
That's always fun.
So that's all I have.
Thank you.
I do have a comment. A parent reached out to me about co-op, and I guess I don't think the student understood or whatever when they approached employers about the fact that even though there are certain things that normally they can't do until they're 18 years old, that, is there anything can we do anything to reach out to the parents or students about telling them what they can do? Because the employers are saying, well, they're not 18, they can't. And I know there's a provision for vocational students.
It depends though.
It all depends.
Fork
There's a lot
trucks
of
are right out.
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Any high
factors.
lifts, I believe,
Yeah.
right
And so it
now.
would depend on who the student is and what shop they're in and their shop teacher. So we can work with that student. I don't know who it is, but we
It's
definitely.
an electrical student.
Okay, so we definitely work with the students to make sure they get what they need, and we'll help connect them. So I would suggest they reach out to start with their teacher,
Right.
talk with Jared, Mr. Lucier, because he oversees those shops, so that he can kind of help guide them in the right direction.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question though.
I just have one question. Do we have any programs that are 100% co-op placement this year in the high school at senior level?
100%.
Medical, is that what you just told me? I'd have to double check the numbers, but I think medical sounds right.
Yeah, I think there was.
I know medical's normally a typical one, is nobody added any others to the list.
Medical, there's two, and there is a second one, I can't remember, it's outside of his office, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, it's on the big one. Yeah, it's definitely medical.
Should I text Jared?
I'm pulling it up right now. I don't know if these are the max numbers though. So I'd have to double check I might be off by a couple, but auto, we have a lot of kids out, dental, electrical, early ed, medical, nurse assisting.
That's good.
Right.
So a lot of those have really high numbers. I'd want to double check the caps with them, but they're pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
But we have 195 seniors that are out, so just about half of the class is out on co-op.
Yeah.
So
The class, I think, is 391.
yeah,
So.
there you go. And we have 78 juniors out since for the last 2 months, including the blizzard and vacation.
The blizzard vacation extension.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Nobody's gonna be saying you're welcome on June the 25th.
No.
Thank you, Principal. And now I guess we'll move into the Executive Director of the Technical Institute report.
All right, everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So as we head into March, we have the CTI grant round 11 application due Monday. Again, I mentioned in the last committee meeting that we were going to be applying for cohorts in metal fabrication and welding, machine tool, and culinary. So that's underway and that's due Monday. Practical nurse program highlights. Well, right now we have 27 students accepted for our fall program. That's the full-time day program, and 14 accepted into the evening cohort. And then our director and her people are working on securing specialty clinical sites. For day and evening program updates, the dental program had a lot going on this month with Alexandra Maynard having been selected the 2026 recipient of the Carolyn Geza, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dental System Recipient Award. Very competitive. It's a nationwide award. She's a very impressive student, and it basically demonstrates students in leadership, service, dedication, profession. Lexi has a little bit interesting story where she actually is a UConn graduate, and she came to the TI where she's getting that dental experience because she wants to go on to dental school, and it's going to fortify her application. So she's been amazing, and kudos to her. Students have completed a radiology project, meeting quota requirements, performing full-month radiographs, minimum 2 live patients, and they are out on clinical internship as of today, where they'll participate in general, specialty, and pediatric offices. Trainings that are coming up, opioid training with High Point, evening students receive training from the treatment center on April 14th. Medical and practical nursing students will get that on the 30th of this month. I'm going to update the partnerships and community health part. There's only 2 bullets here, but there's actually a lot more has transpired since I submitted. Beth Israel collaborate with Beth Israel to strengthen our partnerships for expanded internships. We recently had a meeting with AFC, American Family Urgent Care, to provide our students access to immunizations and physicals. It is a common barrier for our students because they have to pay out of pocket. So we were very fortunate to connect with Dr. Hassan over at AFC in Brockton and provide that and work with our students as they enroll, offer those services right here on site at the TI, making it an easier barrier of entry to overcome. Additional updates that's not in this for the community partnerships. Tomorrow I'm going to be meeting with Brockton Healthy Families, again, pushing our initiative at the TI to really become a community school and linking up with our community partners. Rhode Island Blood Bank was in today. We are planning a blood drive. We hopefully are going to have that happen in the TI tentatively on May 18th. That's something I'll bring to the superintendent to make sure that she is on board with that. But the details kind of spilled out today in our meeting collectively. And I met with Mass Hire to talk about how we can expand our partnerships beyond just the CTI grants and more, where there's different circles and different conversations happening. So a lot happening with the partnerships. Again, as I mentioned, externships, MA and DA students have started that. looking at community classes, over the break, we had a free culinary class that we offered in February to get adult students interested in the program, and we're hoping to plan to expand that over the summer, where we have enrichment classes, and tentatively we've talked about machine tool exposing some kind of enrichment class and welding, as well as some others. So that's kind of in the works for the summer, and that's something that we think will be a good thing for the TI and really getting us out there. And lastly, events, the TI open house, end of this month, the 26th, and also the 11th, the healthcare open house. Other events that happened, I actually wanted to bring to the committee's attention that Ronnie German and Beth Ann Fitzgerald have done an amazing job to promote and really get aggressive with the MA and DA needs. And we've got a really, really positive outcome with students from the MA and DAs. I believe we have, don't quote me in stone here, I believe we have 6 students that we are going to enroll already for our MA program, and DA, I think we have about 4, which, again, I think looking to last year, we had 0 enrollees at this time period. So again, all updated stuff, and really good work by my team, and the credit goes to them. That's all I have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for the TI? Okay, so now we're going to the Executive Director of Town and Community Affairs reports.
Here we go. You did skip one. Hang on just a minute. Taking a moment to come up. All right, Dr. Perkins.
Hello. So since we last spoke, we have moved one internal employee into fulfilling our multilingual family engagement coordinator position. That has been vacant since about a month of me being hired, just because we had a vacancy, and we needed to wait until we hired. And so with Ms. Edna being hired, now Ms. Vanessa can move into that role. We needed to wait also for freshmen to be set into their shops to see where our students needed support, our multilingual students needed support. We also have an employee who last spring moved out of the state, came back and reapplied, so we have a full lunch monitor department. So thank you to her, and that speaks volumes to us that we have someone that left and came back. And we hired a part-time clinical nursing instructor and a one-to-one paraprofessional with Ms. Presser. So I believe that our nursing office is also fully staffed. And we have substitute nurses that are also now on the line if we need them. What is still open, and I continue to stand by my point every time I bring it up, you all make it happen. So we are in our final hiring stages for our Chapter 74 robotics and automation teacher. We do have many applicants for most of these positions, but I do want to take a second to just let everyone know that our HR generalist, Ms. Savannah Cardoso, has moved on. So we thank her for holding down the fort as long as she did by herself, and she did that with poise and handled it flawlessly. But now I'm just needing a little bit of time, but we do have a lot of applicants in most of these positions open. So I think if I had to push a position, it's gonna be a HR generalist, and that is selfishly.
At all.
And let's see, what else? I think, what do you want to push? What do you want to push? Because, no, I think we are really in a good spot right now, and we're really starting to look at next year and preparing for our very big job fair, which, and that's the next slide, which is next month in April. So we will be attending the Merck Job Fair at BU.
My
That's
laptop
all
is
right.
just being weird. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Thank you. The save the date for the benefit and wellness fair will be April 16th from 10:30 to 1:30, sort of in the SPAC area. We will have our vendors from our many partner agencies. We will also have our cafeteria staff with some nice parfaits, smoothies, not pastries because wellness fair, so we're gonna leave that for another day, but they'll have something to munch on. And massage chairs, just to sort of in the meantime give back to our staff who work really hard. And we will have in the auditorium HSA and FSA presentations for our staff. Any questions?
Thank you.
Now I think we need to adjourn into executive session.
Yes. And now we're going to move to go into executive session according to Chapter 30A, Section 21, Paragraph A3, which is necessary to discuss strategy in respect to negotiations because an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and to not reconvene in open session to adjourn the meeting. So I need
So moved.
Good. And we have a second. There we go.
How do you like that, Mel?
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yep.
Tony?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Kelsey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Trisha?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Right, and for executive session, I do not need the assistant superintendent, and I do not need the treasurer. I need you, but not right now.
No offense.
Good catch.
No hard feelings, right?
You're so sad.
Stage right.
Oh, Jen, you can't stay either.
I cannot say.
Oh, bummer.
Holy come on.
I know you want to.
I really wanted to stay.
Listen, Dr. Susan.
Take a
You were to say.
I know, I heard it.
Take a few minutes.